And big happenings in the downtown area a little bit later on tonight. Nightfall on the River is going to be taking place, and as Jackie just mentioned, they moved it. And the thing that's really unusual, Jackie, is if you look back in history here in Des Moines, 25 years ago today is when we had the big flood in 1993. Today is when it hit. And that is still having effects here in central Iowa when it comes to water and things being displaced. But we have a big show going on a little later on tonight. We have a guy joining us in studio right now who's going to be the opening act for the Gin Blossoms.
That's right.
Later on tonight. We've seen him on the program before. Yeah. He's one of our favorites. Dan Tedesco has returned.
Nice to be back.
How are you, man?
Doing well.
So, again, this is quite an honor to be opening up for a band of their stature.
It should be a lot of fun. I was mentioning to you earlier when I first walked in that I went to Arizona State, and for anybody who doesn't know, these guys started in Tempe, Arizona, which is where the school's at. So when I was there playing around, people would always say, "Oh, this is the spot where the Gin Blossoms started, and you got to play down the street where they used to play." And so.
And that's what got it going.
So that tradition continues on here tonight.
Yeah, so now we'll come full circle here in Iowa.
There you go. Fantastic. So what have you been up to? We haven't talked to you in a while.
Yeah, I think it's been a couple years since I was here last. The biggest thing is I've been recording. I've got a new record done, which I hope will be out sometime this spring. You never really know with those kinds of things. But that's
Where'd you put it together at?
I recorded down in Lexington, Kentucky.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I've done a couple records down there now with a producer by the name of Dwayne Lundy, who I really, really like working with. And like I said, I'm hoping it'll be out sometime this fall, but at the very latest, I think probably top of next year.
Okay.
So, and I'm going to do probably one of those songs today.
Okay, that works. Yeah. So where are you calling home now?
Here in town, Beaverdale.
You still live in Beaverdale?
The other big thing is we got a house, and now we're official homeowners, yeah.
How about that?
Yep.
Now, let's go journey down your path. You mentioned you have been here for a little while. Getting into music, how long ago did you first get into music?
Well, that's a loaded question. I mean, if you really want to go all the way back, I started playing music when I was about 5 years old. I started with piano. But I've been doing what I do professionally for about 10 years now.
Mm-hmm. Well, we want to make sure people come early to the event later on tonight. As we said, Brenton Skating Plaza. What are people going to experience? You know, everyone's getting amped up for the Gin Blossoms, but we want to make sure people can check out what you're all about, too.
Well, you're going to get a little taste of it. The best thing I can do is play for you, really. But it should be a wonderful evening. I mean, the weather looks like it's going to be really, really nice. Mm-hmm. And once that sun gets down a little lower and get the beating heat of the day out of us, I think it's going to be really nice.
You'll be in great shape. So growing up, you decided to become a musician, what you said, 10 years ago. What are some of your influences in the music that you create?
Man, really just people. I mean, that's kind of a generic response, but my biggest influences and inspirations just come from the people I talk to, the stories that they tell me. When I travel around the country, one of my favorite things to do is just to sit down and talk to people, because it's amazing what you can learn if you just give them a chance to talk and respond and really listen to what they have to say. And I always tell everyone, if you're talking to me, don't be surprised if something shows up in a song down the road somewhere. That's where it comes from.
So no matter what you say, it could end up turning into a lyric.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. What bands did you go see when you were growing up? I'm sure you were a big concert goer.
Well, the first concert I ever saw, I was just talking to someone about this the other day, was the Smashing Pumpkins when they put out Melancholy and Infinite Sadness. It was in '96. And I grew up outside of Chicago, so it was at what I still call the Rosemont Horizon.
Okay, sure. Okay, which is near the airport.
Yes, the arena over there, right. I think it's the Allstate Arena. But yeah, that was my first show. And then I think about maybe 5 months later, The Who were out doing what was supposed to be their farewell concert for Quadrophenia. So I got to see that. So it was a big year. I mean, to see the Smashing Pumpkins and then The Who 6 months later. I was like, 14 or something at the time. So it was that was my initiation into the rock and roll world.
So any of the influences of The Who translate over into your
tremendously.
Performances?
Yeah, I'm a huge Pete Townsend fan.
I was going to say, you do the big windmill arm?
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. I get pegged in the Americana country thing sometimes, because when people see somebody with an acoustic guitar, they just assume that's what they're seeing or what's going to happen. But my influences range from guys like Bob Dylan or someone that you might put in that genre. But I'm a huge Van Halen fan, massive Van Halen fan.
So you're gonna break into a little eruption later on?
Maybe later tonight.
Tonight,
not so much. Yeah, I'm not. I'm ready for that right now. But maybe later.
A little too early. If people want to follow along, they're going to hear more, obviously, here in just a matter of moments on our program. But if they want to follow along more, see what you're up to, know when this new album is going to be released, where should they go to follow?
Best thing is just my website. It's dantedesco.com. And
Okay.
that's links to everything you want on there. So.
Love it.
Now, any parallels? We're going to hear your music coming up here in about 10 minutes, a little more than 10 minutes, but any parallels of your music and somebody else's music that people can relate to? Say, well, Dan Tedesco's music reminds me of...
It'd be probably in the combination of like Bruce Springsteen and Tom Petty, Neil Young.
Okay.
Those three. That'd be the three I'd throw out there.
Okay, that works.
Wonderful. Well, we're excited to hear you later on tonight, obviously at Nightfall on the River, opening act for Gin Blossoms, but also a great act that you're going to see here on our program. So keep it right here on CW Iowa Live Channel 23. If you want to follow along with Dan, make sure you check out his website as well, and we'll remind you of that here in just a matter of moments.